Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Science for Everyone. Today, the topic is related to virology, and the title of my today's lecture is The Root of Virus Inside a Human Body. In simple, this means that most of the students are confused that how the virus enters. For example, a virus enters our body and how it travels inside our body. For example, if we are having chicken pox virus, which is herpes related to herpes family, so when it is ingested or when it is inhaled and when it get entry inside the body, so after that, after a few days, there are lesions on all over the body, okay, and there are scars and different other type of red spots. So question arises that it has entered our body by inhaling from the outside. So it enters our nose. So how does these pimples and how these papules and these lesions appears on our skin? Okay, because the entry is through the nose. So after that, how it get access to the skin? So a virus, even a bacteria, uses a very unique pathway to reach its specific site. Okay, so in today's lecture, I will clear up your minds that how a virus, when it enters our body, so how it reaches its original site. So this all videos about this. So the main concept is that how it reaches to a specific site. So let's start with the video lecture. Okay, wait a minute. I want to show you something. Okay, so we will start from here. For example, there is a virus and it gain entry into our body. If it is influenza virus, so influenza virus cause infection in our upper respiratory tract and even in our lower respiratory tract. So first of all, what will it do when it enters our body? So these cells are the epithelial cells. So most of the virus that are influenza virus or rotavirus or papilloma virus. So in case of the influenza virus, it breaches the epithelial cells of the respiratory tract and start their replication and their multiplication. So this plus means, here is the key, the plus means the possible site for the replication. So mostly the influenza virus started its replication here and cause infection here. So we witness cold-like symptoms, coughing, sneezing, and a little bit fever. Okay, so most of the virus that are included that are influenza and respiratory. So mostly when they get entry into the body, so they crosses the epithelial cell and starts their multiplication inside the epithelial cell, and after that it flows into the lungs or this other type of stuff. So these are the viruses that breaches the epithelial cells of the respiratory tract. Now, in case of the rotavirus, it breaches the epithelial cells of the intestinal tract, and if it is papilloma virus, so basically it breaches the epithelial cell of the skin. So here they multiply and cause infection. So, for example, we are having, if we take an example of a chicken pox, that is Varicella zoster virus. Okay, so what does it do? Mainly when it is inhaled by a person. So the person starts in a few days or in a 1 or 2 or 3 days, he starts the symptoms appear, then he starts coughing, sneezing, and even there is fever. Okay, after a few days, there is a rash on the skin. Okay, there are papules and all over the skin, red spots are there on the skin. So here we will take the Varicella zoster virus that is included in the herpes simplex family. So we will take that virus. Okay, so for example, when it is inhaled through the nose, so it starts its replication in the respiratory tract. It breaches the epithelial cells of the respiratory tract and it starts its replication, so the multiplication. So we witness the symptoms of the for the flu, okay, just like coughing and sneezing. But here it does not ends here, it has to reach the skin. and how it reaches the skin. So we will now follow the route. After that, there are macrophages and dendritic cells inside our that is present inside the skin. Okay, sorry, inside the respiratory tract. After the epithelial cells. Okay, here are the dendritic cells and the macrophages. So these viruses are engulfed by these dendritic cells and macrophages, and they are traveled into the lymph nodes. Okay, and lymph nodes are present all over the body. I will now show you a specific image about it. But first of all, keep this thing in mind that that virus is engulfed or endocytosed by the macrophages and the dendritic cell. After that, it is moved into the lymph nodes where the T cells and the B cells are present. So most of the virus, including the varicella zoster virus that cause chicken pox. So what does it do? It basically also multiply inside that lymph node. Okay, and after that, when it can get access into the bloodstream. Okay, after the lymph node, it can get access to the bloodstream. Here, just look here to the key. This green arrow is movement of the virus. Okay, or the movement of the virions. So what does it do? From the lymph node, it diffuses into the bloodstream. How it diffuses into the sorry, it does not diffuse it, it across it get access into the bloodstream by passive transport. Okay, how does it take passive transport? So just look here. Wait a minute. Now this green color is the lymphatic system. Okay, all over the body. So the lymphatic vessels and the blood vessels, these are basically in close contact to each other. Just look here. This is the this red color is the red blood, this arteries and veins and capillaries. Sorry, these capillaries, and these the vessels of the vessel of the lymphatic vessels are in close contact to each other. So what does it do when the viruses are present in these green color part? Okay, this lymphatic vessel, so it can easily get access into the bloodstream, and just because of this access, it can enter the bloodstream. Just like here, it is a magnified image. Okay, so for example, if I change the color and give a virus a yellow color, so what does it? For example, this is the virus and this is the lymphatic. Okay, this is the lymphatic vessel. So as I have told you that the capillaries are in close contact with the lymphatic vessel. So here, by passive transport, keep this thing in mind, passive transport. Again, I'm writing passive transport. By passive transport, by the expenditure of the energy, what does it do? It get access into the capillaries. So this virus can by passive transport move into the capillaries, and after that, when it move into the capillaries, so ultimately it get access into the bloodstream, and after that, viremia occurs. What does viremia mean? Viremia basically means the virus inside the blood. Okay, so keep this thing in mind that if someone asks you that how the viruses move from lymph nodes or the lymphatic vessels into the blood, so your answer will be that it basically goes into the bloodstream by passive transport. So keep this concept in your mind. After that, when and this is known as primary viremia. Okay, keep this in mind. It is known as primary viremia, and just because of it, when it get entered into the blood, so it can get access to each and every organ of the body. If it is bone marrow, if it is liver, if it is spleen, or if it is other blood vessels, so it can get access to these. And the most dangerous part of the virus cycle and the virus movement is the viremia. If it get access into the blood, so it can move into different organs and starts infection there. So keep this thing in mind that viremia is very much dangerous, okay? And it can get into the bone marrow, it can get into the liver and the spleen. So mostly the chicken pox virus or the varicella zoster virus can get entry into the liver and the spleen. After that, secondary viremia occurs, okay? Because there are thousands of blood vessels in these organs, so secondary viremia can occur. And just look here, if I just zoom it like this, so in we are taking the chicken pox virus, okay, the varicella zoster virus. So now what happens here, it again get entry into the blood, and this is known as the secondary viremia. And after that, what happens, that in case of the chicken pox, it can get entry into the skin, okay? It can get entry into the skin, and it starts its replication and its multiplication in the skin. And just because of this multiplication, there is rash on the skin, red spots are appear, or in case of the pox viruses, different nodules and papules and different other type of scars appear on the skin. So it starts from the nasal cavity, from it we inhaled it, and after that it get entry to the lymph nodes. After that, it the primary viremia occurs. After that, it get access to different organs of the body, and from there it get again entry into the blood vessel. And after that, it reaches its specific site. So in case of varicella zoster virus, it get entry into the skin and start its replication. If it is measles virus or rubella virus or even varicella zoster virus, so it can again get entry into the nasal and the mucous membrane and start its replication. If it is poliovirus, rabies, or measles virus, so it can get entry or get access into the brain, okay? And if it is measles, mumps, and cytomegalovirus, so it can it can get access to the lungs, salivary glands, and kidneys, okay? Here this means that in case of hepatitis virus or arbovirus, when there is secondary viremia, so the host, if mainly when there is viremia, so when that blood come in contact with another person, so he can also get the disease. So keep this thing in mind. And we can shed viruses from the mucous membrane. For example, if the virus is present in our nasal cavity, so if we cough or sneeze, so we can produce, or we can produce the virus into the environment, okay? Introduce the virus into the environment. If it is present in the papules that is present on the skin, so if a person come in contact with those papules, so the papules are filled with dead cells and the virus, so the person can get access to the virus, okay? A healthy person. But keep this thing in mind, that in case of the brain, there is no shedding, because it is totally covered in the skull. So in case of the brain, we cannot shed viruses. So if you are infected with rabies, so you cannot introduce the rabies virus into the environment. And in case of the measles and the mumps and cytomegalovirus, if it is present in the lung or salivary gland or kidneys, so you can easily through it can your urine can will have these measles, mumps, and cytomegalovirus. Even in salivary glands, this virus can be present, and in your aspirates, this virus can also be present, okay? So this was all about the actual root of the virus, that how it enters our body. First it has to breach the epithelial cell. After that, it and get entry into the lymph nodes, because there are macrophages and dendritic cells that are present in the respiratory tract or the intestinal tract or the skin. So those macrophages engulf the virus, and take it into the lymph nodes where the T cells and the B cells are present, and they introduce it into the to the B cells, to the T cells, sorry. After that, as I have told you that primary viremia can occur. And how does it occur, I have explained it. And from primary viremia, it can get access to different organs of the body. After that, it again, secondary viremia occurs. And after that, secondary viremia, the virus can get access to its original site. In case of the skin, Varicella zoster virus, it is skin. In case of the polio virus, it can get access into the brain. Or if it is cytomegalovirus, so it can get access to the lung, salivary gland, or kidneys. Okay, so keep this catch in your mind, that how virus move inside the body. Okay, keep this catch in your mind. So if someone asks you that we have inhaled or we have engulfed a virus, and there is rash on our body, or the person is experiencing encephalitis, infection in the brain, so how does it reaches the brain or the skin? So just keep this sketch in your mind, and you can easily tell that this happens. Okay, and this sketch is applicable for each and every virus. Okay, so if you have understand this video, so like this video, share it with your friend, and subscribe to my channel for more interesting videos related to science. Thank you very much. God bless you.